has said, the election is just around the corner. For me, one of the best ways to know when the election is going to happen is when Dr. Mahathir speaks about hudud. When Dr. Mahathir speaks about hudud, then we know the elections are definitely very close. So I think I have to put everyone's mind at rest, at ease. Pakatan Rakyat works based on a consensus. Right? Nothing that is not completely agreed to by all parties will ever be implemented by a Pakatan Rakyat government. So when the issue of hudud is raised, what Dr. Mahathir was hoping for is that it would be a repeat of what we saw in 2004. When the DAP says they cannot accept it, PAS says we cannot give it up, then what happens is that the DAP at that time left the Barisan Alternative, and this was what they were expecting again. That when you bring up the issue of hudud, DAP will definitely say they cannot agree to it. PAS will definitely say, being an Islamic party, that we cannot reject it. Then what they were hoping for is that Pakatan Rakyat would collapse. But this time around, credit to our leaders, we handled it in a far better and a far more mature manner. So what was said is that we respect each other's opinion. PAS respects DAP's stand, not accepting hudud. DAP respects PAS stand with respect to the hudud. But at the same time, we emphasize that Pakatan Rakyat is a government that works on the basis of consensus, and for as long as that consensus is not achieved, then nothing will be implemented. Right? So I hope this will put everyone's mind at ease. Right? I mean, you cannot in the current political atmosphere. You cannot expect PAS also to say, okay, we forgo hudud, because we know the moment we say that, then UMNO will definitely push us to the wall, and we will have a very difficult case to present to the Muslims, right? So this is the problem. So that's why they were hoping that this issue will put an end to Pakatan Rakyat, but fortunately they were very, very disappointed. The second issue, or the third issue that I want to touch, is about what's happening in Selangor. So I think Barisan Nasional is very desperate. They want to win back Selangor. Of all the states, they couldn't be bothered if PAS maintains Kelantan. They couldn't be bothered if PAS maintains Kedah. They couldn't be bothered even if the DAP is able to maintain Pulau Pinang. But out of all these four states, the most important and the most cherished state by UMNO Barisan Nasional is the state of Selangor, and they are working very hard to try to make sure that they win Selangor back in the coming elections. And we know they are not clean. Barisan Nasional, we know they are not clean. They don't play by principles. In Shah Alam, recently, when we went through the voters registration, we protested 58 names. Out of the 58 names, 52 of our protests were accepted. Only 6 from 58 were found to be actual voters in Shah Alam. 52 were people who are not staying in Shah Alam, but being transferred into Shah Alam as voters. Out of these 52, 2 of them were Indonesians. They just got their IC, and when they received the letter from SPR, from the Election Commission, it was all very formal with the SPR letterhead, so they came. But when we asked them, who registered you as a voter, they said they don't know. Did they themselves sign a form registering themselves as a voter? They said they never signed any form. So what that meant is, the moment they were given the IC, the blue IC, they were immediately registered as a voter. I don't know if you read the Malaysia Kini. Yeah? Yesterday, the PAS youth managed to stop 6 busloads of foreign-looking individuals from going to Putrajaya to get their IC, blue IC, and also at the same time to be registered as voters. This is a scam where not only the Jabatan Pendaftaran Negara, the one that issues the IC, but also SPR are working hand in glove. The moment these people get the IC, straight away they are registered as voters. So this is a very desperate attempt on the part of UMNO Barisan Nasional to make sure that they win Selangor. It's an indication of the fact that they themselves realize they cannot win unless they get this kind of foreign support. So we are doing our very best to make sure that all these people will be identified and their names will be rejected through the normal process. But if this fails, then I think we have to consider even the possibility of getting a court injunction on the names of these individuals who are clearly proven to be new IC holders and who should not be in the electoral roll, at least for this coming election. Yeah? Secondly, on this issue of Selangor, I have to make a mention. This is with respect to the incident involving the Damansara Utama Methodist Church. I think my stand on this issue has been clear from day one. And after 2 months, even though the statement by the Sultan is not completely as what we would wish for it, what we would wish for, the fact of the matter is that he, after reading the report from JAIS, came to the conclusion that is insufficient proof to obtain any form of conviction. That's the fact. All the other statements, as far as I'm concerned, is just face-saving statements on the part of the judge. Because he himself, as the Sultan, he's in charge of JAIS. So no matter what, he has to say what JAIS did was okay, that there was some proof. It wasn't something which was completely unjustified, but the fact of the matter, no prosecution is being undertaken because the proof is inconclusive and insufficient to get a conviction. In other words, it's not worth anything. Bring it to court, they lose. Yeah? But unfortunately, as a result of the statement, because this is up to, two sides of the coin. We were hoping that with this statement, this issue will settle, right? But unfortunately, UMNO, even though they don't want to show their hands, or what we say in Malay, baling batu, sembunyi tangan. Yeah? After throwing the stone, they hide their hands in their pocket, so people don't know that they are the ones who threw the stone. Yeah? UMNO is still instigating the Muslims, and there is supposedly going to be a big gathering on the 22nd of October. PAS, I believe, will not be a party to this gathering, because we want to ensure and we want to preserve the respect, the mutual respect between all communities, and we want to ensure that there will be peace and harmony between all of them. So I think I would like to say thank you to Yang Berhormat Dr. Chia for having invited me, and I hope that the relationship between PAS, the DAP and PKR, the coalition known as Pakatan Rakyat, will remain strong and will get your support all the way until Putrajaya. Thank you.